Please don't tell anyone I lived like this.
Body beautiful.
So beautiful, armored, bitter angel.
Hell yeah.
Let's talk about beauty standards.
Who is anybody to say that this is the exact thing that you have to be in order to meet this standard?
Yeah.
Of now you're considered attractive.
Why is being beautiful so like the most important thing for a woman to be? Because sure, it's like cool if a guy's handsome, but that's just like a kind
An
of
extra.
Yeah, it's a lower tier. It's an eye catcher, but you don't really give a fuck. Like if his face is coming off, as long as he's like funny and smart and kind or whatever. But
Right.
a woman, it feels kind of like the base level is.
No, it's the best thing she can be, and it's also the most finite thing she can be. So it's a fucking
It's
trap.
over for sure. Like
It's gonna end, and you're not gonna be everybody's cup of tea ever.
Ever.
Nobody ever meets everybody's standard. And again, well, who's setting them? Just
Yeah.
like you fucking said, who gets to say what's fucking good looking and what's not?
And who's usually setting the standards? Old white guys.
Old fucking the most beautiful demographic. Can you meet this standard?
Okay.
Do you feel beautiful?
Don't consider myself particularly focused on my looks, like not particularly, and yet every time we do something on camera, I'm wearing makeup.
Oh yeah.
So even at a low grade, you still feel the pressure of, oh, if you come into work or something not wearing makeup, you're unprofessional, you look a little sloppy, are you sick, etc. And it's like, this is my face.
And I was gonna say, but does it make it that you are unprofessional, that you
Exactly.
are sloppy? No.
And no.
But yeah, the perception,
That's the
for most
perception.
people, even if you're not focused on your
Particularly.
appearance, it's something that you're constantly aware of because you're gonna be
There's
judged on it.
expectation,
Yeah.
yeah.
You're, whether you give a shit about it or not, other people will.
If
If you're
you're a
gonna miss
woman-
out on certain things if you don't meet those standards. You're not gonna be taken as seriously in the workplace. If you're looking for, out on the dating scene.
Even the most beautiful people in the world, even the Beyoncés and the models who are just 9s, 10s walking here on earth looking like cartoon characters that
nothing
jumped
but
out of a
just being
comic book
themselves.
and they're just amazing. They're still getting professional makeup and filters and lighting and all these things. So it's
And
like,
feeling
damn,
golden
I
Photoshop.
already wasn't Beyonce, but holy shit, I'm certainly not Beyonce cranked up to 15.
And yeah, and little girls are growing up, and little boys are growing up in a society that says, no, this is what you need to be at least in order to be seen, to be loved, to matter.
To be worthy of looking at.
Yeah.
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 To be
And in
worthy
turn,
of attention.
what you should expect of a partner. And that's the other insidious part of it, when they like fucking play up the part of it where it's like, no, you're in your natural beauty, pitting you against the women that do like to wear makeup and do whatever. Like,
Because they're
real women have curves.
Sure, exactly.
Like, because all those skinny girls are ephemeral and just like wisps.
They're just not real people.
They're just
'cause-
Irish ghosts floating through the moors, which
The
is
fuck?
probably Scotland, but they don't know. They're confused. They're dead. This thick extent, you can't win is the whole thing.
Exactly, because
And the standard is always changing.
Yeah.
And it's always, though, held to a standard that nobody can ever meet on a consistent and constant basis.
And and thank God we're living in a time where it is changing, but let us be honest that the standard still is very much thin body, light skin, light-ish, whatever,
Right.
like shade, but still light, like let's keep it light, and like you certainly can't be outside a certain size.
Right.
You know what I mean? Without it being like, if you're on the cover of a magazine, it's about your size.
I was going to say, yeah, people
You know what
are
I'm
making
saying?
allowances for
Right,
you.
right.
Like, here's our special issue where we included somebody
Plus
that...
size.
The fuck does that mean? It's a size!
Yes, this is my
You can't be
size.
a plus of a size!
This is just my size.
What is the size?
This is my body.
Yeah, stop doing that shit to people. Stop making them feel like and stop othering them. Here's
Yeah.
your section.
But even in body positivity, does beauty need to be the
Part of
center
it.
of it? Couldn't it be, God, I appreciate like what this body is able to do.
It takes me from place to place.
Yeah.
It fucking...
It breathes,
Yep.
it sings,
It regenerates itself overnight and repairs cuts and wounds
Yeah.
when I fall down, and I'm able to run, faster than I did a month ago because I kept my body has supported me through training,
right.
even light training,
If I give it what it needs, it responds.
including love.
So it's like decentering beauty as the most important fucking thing that you can be, especially as a woman. Of course, like again, things are changing and the pendulum swinging, so men are getting more messaging that says fucking shave your pubes and like get fit. You know what I mean? Whereas we were the only ones getting that message for the last, hundreds of years.
And now men are being more filmed in the manner of being sex objects.
Exactly,
in movies
because
and
now
things.
women, we have our own money, and it's not just about getting picked. Now guys have to get picked too, so it's like, hey, have your abs and have your this and that. And goddamn, like, yay for the pendulum and all that, But goddamn, like, can we get over the shell?
Yeah.
That's only exciting for like a little while.
And anything you can get accustomed to. It's like buying something and thinking it's going to make you happy for a long time. And yeah, there's the thrill of getting it initially, and then it's like, oh wait, this didn't fill.
It's no
whatever
longer
thing
shiny
was
and
it.
new.
Right.
This, however, is shiny and new.
You're forever shiny and new.
Bitch, I love you. Meet every beauty standard there is.
You know, like women not feeling like they're decent if they even go to the grocery store without makeup. What about the world has made people feel like they're disgusting, and like a fucking stranger looking at them would be the worst possible thing that could happen while they just fucking run and get some goddamn grapes and orange juice.
And like, to be Libran about it, like, that is totally true, and it's also totally true that if you're the kind of person who does want to put on a full face of makeup and that's when you feel good, going to the gym or going to the store, you shouldn't be fucking judged.
Nope.
That's the whole point. There should be no standard except this is my standard for me, and I feel fucking really great with no makeup, or I feel really great with fucking Instagram awesome contour makeup or whatever.
Yeah, y'all are magical. You
Yeah,
people that fucking
dude.
do that shit.
Damn, I feel more beautiful when my ears are mobile.
Body beautiful. That's a really good thing to point out. It's like the real women have curves thing, and sometimes in people trying to negate stereotypes.
I like girls better without makeup.
Like, fuck you.
I feel compelled always to, like, I get that the pendulum is swinging and that's really good, but a big problem is that this is so just enforced by men.
Yep.
High heels, you know what I mean?
Yeah, make your legs more
underwire
curvaceous, make
and
your tits
the painful
higher.
things. Like, we want to hyper feminize you. Your femininity that we find beautiful, that's not enough. We need to ramp it up 50 degrees.
Inject fucking botulism into your face
God
to stop
damn.
the signs that you have expressions.
Yeah.
Also, don't emote.
God, I know. Relax your face.
Relax
don't,
your face.
Don't live
Don't
too
smile.
much.
Don't Don't react to any of the fucking
live.
unfair standards being pressed on you. Just fucking be smooth and bland.
And don't go out in the sun.
And don't fucking, venture out. Be fucking.
Don't have a life. Don't let anybody know how old you are because you lose value if that number goes up.
Mm-hmm. We all just need to keep a little portrait
And
in
if
our
you can
attics.
fake it, you fake it. And when we have something as basic as, if you're not beautiful, you probably won't end up with someone, you probably won't be happy, you probably or just aren't that great, basically, like, swipe past that, that's not that great, or whatever. And now we see just everything that there is, like everything, and we're always looking at it. So no, there's just always somebody who's amazing looking, and just all of these things, like, and it's really hard to stay centered when you're told that that's really important, and then here's everybody in the world who's a goddess
and
walking
now you
on
need
the
to be on
earth.
social media.
That.
So you need to curate your appearance and look a certain way and compete with these ridiculous standards that you'll never have the money or access to replicate.
And now most of conventional dating is literally swiping based on a first glance of how you look. And I'm looking at 100 other people while I look at you. And
right.
This is how you're gonna get in the gate. And I get it because that's true.
No,
like,
it's like, I mentioned
that's
earlier.
a fundamental.
Yes, and everybody's standards are based also on like culture, on where they grew up, and the fucking kind of people they were surrounded by, and all sorts of things, and the media that you're absorbing.
And that's the damn problem, is that it's curated by rich, mostly white
and then
guys.
fetishizing, particular culture.
Like, it's a real human thing that we don't learn something until we're sort of forced to see it. So if all you're getting is here's a white, blonde, tall, thin woman for decades and decades and decades, no wonder that it takes some breaking down of a system to be like, no man, like, here's some brown, beautiful, or like just the gamut of skin tones and textures and sizes and all these things, like, systems, man. Hippie, but like, really, like, that system's broken for show.
Yeah, no, and nobody, and the thing is that, again, it's always changing the rules. There are no rules, but if there are any, you're breaking them for sure, because you're just never going to ever be good enough. And that's what the standard is meant to do, is to keep you pushing and running and like fucking chasing that hope. And even as you get older, you're going to chase that perfect image that it only grows farther away. I want to take his face off.
Oh my god! I woke up like this. I didn't. Hashtag.
Also, standards imply being put through some kind of a factory or something, and so you're having edges cut off and things like that, like Cinderella's stepsisters cutting their toes and heels and stuff off to try to fit into that fucking shoe. And dude, he didn't even know what she looked like, man. Just about anybody's foot. Anybody's foot who would fit in that fucking shoe, be like, yep, that was her.
So let's talk about the fact that you need to be beautiful, but you cannot know or express that you're beautiful, except within a very narrow set of parameters. Like, you cannot express that you're feeling cute or confident. Exactly. And then it's not cute.
What should I be full of instead? Shit?
She don't know she's beautiful. And what's that other one?
She don't know she's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's what makes you beautiful.
Yeah, you don't know. Is it
You don't know you're beautiful? I'm glad I don't know that song.
Yeah. Like, what if you're not beautiful? And what if that's okay? Because what if that's not the best thing that you can be?
Right. Well, and it isn't. Beautiful isn't the best thing anybody can be.
It's
unless they have
ornamental.
nothing else going on.
It's ornamental. It's ornamental. There's nothing, like, it degrades. It just
It has nothing to do with who you are. You're just born into this.
Genetic lottery. Yeah.
You're born into whatever you happen to be born into, and that's it.
And this world is going to apply its standards regardless. So I think it's important that you feel, not necessarily that you feel beautiful, because maybe being beautiful isn't the most important, well, it's certainly not the most important thing generally, but maybe it's also not the most important thing to you. But you should certainly feel good and comfortable and valid in your body.
And maybe it's not your face or body that makes you feel beautiful, but things that you're, like you mentioned earlier briefly, what you're able to do with your body. You don't change, but this will. So fucking fall in love with who this is, not who this happens to be right now.
You know, there's that really good, that adage about, like, a tulip isn't envious of a rose. And, you know, a rose shouldn't be envious of a sunflower, and a sunflower shouldn't be envious of a peony. Like, there's just so many different kinds of beauty in the world, and I think either that can make you feel fucked up and small, or that can be like, oh, well, God, there's infinite ways to, and goodness knows, like, a lid for every pot. There's people who are attracted to all sorts of different things, and it's pretty much guaranteed that whatever you are, whatever you look like, somebody out there is like, whew, God, yeah. Like that, right there. That's an amazing
Or
person.
seeing you in some moment where you're maybe not even feeling cute, but you're enjoying the music you're listening to, or you're just laughing with one of your friends, or you're just walking along and they're just seeing you in that moment and they're, golly, look at her. And they definitely didn't think golly. Nobody but a fucking 85-year-old woman that gives ribbon candy to people fucking thinks golly. But maybe somebody is thinking, as you're just living your life in that moment, not even thinking about what you look like, how beautiful you are from whatever. And again, not even the best thing to be, but beautiful can mean, you know,
many different things.
Internal things as well.
Man, it's also like, don't fucking try to dress up a sunflower in rose petals. Like, work your fucking look. You know what I mean? Like,
don't try to shove yourself into a mold that you're just not going to fit into, and then you're shoving yourself in, and how comfortable can that be?
Yeah.
And then you're also rejecting yourself inherently by saying, no, I need to look like this thing over here, because this is just not good enough.
Because whatever you have really does, like, everybody does have inherent beauty, no matter what they look like.
Whether it's external or internal.
Totally, right.
Your soul, like your fucking life force.
Yeah, your energy.
Beautiful.
Yeah, your vibe.
Do you get
it's
to
true.
And it's that phenomenon of meeting beautiful people, but if they're shitty, they become less attractive. And you're like, I would never fuck that guy.
It's
Even
true.
though he's the most gorgeous, like, maybe you fucking dreamed about a dude that looked like that, but then he opens his mouth and he's an ignorant asshole.
Yes,
and
he's
you're
chiseled
like,
from marble,
but so is his brain.
Totally. Yeah, and a person who isn't that great looking can quickly become a really sexy, attractive, compelling person when they've got a great sense of humor, a kind heart, and, like, you know, brain. Yeah. The package, it's very subjective.
And this was what?
Sorry.
No, you look like you had an idea.
Yeah, no, it led me down a very impish, like, magical trail, thinking of, like, glamour spells. And
Of course it did.
well, you know, like, I think of Marilyn Monroe, and like, I remember reading something, and I feel bad that I can't remember the journalist's name, but there was this famous journalist writing a piece about her, and one of those things where they kind of hang out for like a week to make sure that they really get an idea, like, what do you like in the morning, what do you like in the evening, whatever. And they were walking down the street, and the journalist was like, I was pretty surprised, like, nobody was really noticing her, like, wasn't, like, mobbing her or anything like that. And that they were just walking and talking, and then there was a moment of silence, and then she kind of, like, went, like, turned to him and went, like, you want me to turn it on? And then, like, he was like, yeah, and then she, like, turned it on, and all of a sudden it was, like, she was getting mobbed, and people were there, and it was just the alteration of, like, her vibe. Mm-hmm. So, like, that's what I think of, too, is, like, you were saying, like, it's, you know, that energy, and that it's very changeable. So one day you can be feeling not that great about yourself, but then you suddenly remember, oh, that's because I'm a fucking tulip and I've been looking at all these roses and going, why am I not a rose? And it's like, because you're a beautiful fucking purple tulip and you're not like everybody. And when you start working that tulip the next day, your energy has changed and people are like, look at that tulip. Like, I didn't even see it yesterday. You know what I mean? Because it was thinking it wasn't a rose.
Because it wasn't blooming.
Right. Oh, I love it. It's true, though. Yeah. Blossoming and just knowing, like, this is what I have and this is what I'm, again, parallax, right? But in my mind, like, this is the vessel I'm meant to be in. So let me, like, clean it and love it like I would a temple. You know what I mean? Like, let me take care and let me, like, adorn myself in the way that makes me feel beautiful, or unadorned if that makes me feel beautiful and unencumbered. Yeah.
And they do make me happy for the most part. My
true.
beautifying rituals that I choose to indulge in, and that I wouldn't expect other people to if it didn't make them happy.
And that's the trick, right? That seems to be the trick always, is like, it's whatever your standard is for yourself, and it should start and end right there. Because if that chick wants to grow out her pit hair and you don't, well then that's your fucking prerogative, that's her prerogative. Just as that, oh my god.
And did she walk up and say, what do you think of my pit hair?
Is that we don't vote in the elections of other countries. I don't get a vote on whether I look at your hairy legs and feel weird about it, or vice versa.
I don't get to fucking say a goddamn word, or if I do, I'm a fucking asshole.
She's glowing like an angel, a bitter angel. New anime, summer 2020.